Hi everyone. I just thought I'd do a little bit of something extra because I was aware that the video that I recorded was fairly short. So I'm going to show you how I strip models. This is going to take about 15-20 minutes, I think. So what we've got is these are two models that a friend of mine has asked me to strip, and I may throw a few others in there. We've got a Vindicare Assassin, which should go in there. We take the base off because all this texture you don't want in the Methylated Spirits because it will ruin it. We've got a Calderas Assassin, I believe, who won't come off her base, but that's fine. Just get straight in there. And then we're going to throw in a few other bits and pieces as well. Down here I've got a box of Battlefleet Gothic ships. They're painted red. I'm going to throw a few of these in as well. Let's see how many I can actually get in here. I won't show you the whole process of how I clean my Ultrasonic Cleaner and everything. And I don't want to put too much in here either. One more should be enough. So as you can see, right, let's get this box out of the way. The setup is so fully professional by me, as per usual. So we've got a few models in here. This is the little basket that you put the models in, like that. And then we've got a bit of Methylated Spirits, which is down there. So what we do is we find out where we open it, like that way. Yep. And we just pour in. Just, you don't want to put loads in, just enough to kind of cover the models will be enough. There's a tiny bit left in there. Okay, so I put that bottle up there, away from any of my painted stuff. Now this is fairly used Methylated Spirits. We have rubber gloves because everything works better with rubber gloves. We have my cloth, which is again an old painting rag. Actually, we don't need that. What we do need, if I can find it, you have to excuse me, it's a bit of a, I've got so many things on the go, it's all a bit of a mess. So we've got a really old toothbrush. Now this is plugged in, and you'll hear the noise it makes. It's a 3-minute cycle. I need to probably put it on for 3 or 4 times, and I'll talk a little bit, but you may not be able to hear me too well. So that's the noise the Ultrasonic Cleaner makes, and I'm hoping that just 3 cycles and it should be fine. I'm going to take my watch off because I don't want to be getting Methylated Spirits on my watch, and I'm wearing rubber gloves because you don't want to get it on your hands either. It's generally an irritant, so it's not good for you. So glamorous rubber gloves, every wargamer's best friend. I use them for obviously cleaning models, as you can see by this. I use them for spray painting, which I've got another pair. So yeah, I mean, as you've seen, this was another model that I had stripped. As you see, you probably see there's some still blue bits in there, but they're not that bad that it will conceal the detail when you respray the model, so it should be fine. Let's get as I say, I'm a hoarder, I don't throw anything away, so I've got my old toothbrushes which I use for scrubbing models, like whether it be 412 stuff when I'm cleaning it with soapy water, or stuff like this when I'm scrubbing the paint off of them. And generally speaking, this is my workstation, so this down on the floor is where I've got boxes of models to be stripped. The Ultrasonic Cleaner goes down there, my rags, bits of cloth, so when I can dry models off. You need to have some sort of a towel down a towel that's relatively older, you don't mind like messing up, because you can see here the methylated spirits kind of ruined the towel, but this is an old towel, it's not a problem. But you need it to protect your clothes as well, and your worktop, because get methylated spirits on your worktop, it strips the paint off the worktop or the wood and all that. So you wanna have a towel down. Not to confuse it with towel in 40k. You never want a towel in 40k, ever. So yeah, so this Ultrasonic Cleaner, it's something I got off Amazon. As you can see, it's had better days. It's been fairly well used. I think it cost me like £25. So that's first cycle done. Before I open it, I will put it on for another one, and I'll do a third one. And then I'll take the models out and I'll show you how quickly it is to get the rest of the paint off. So yeah, it cost me about 25 quid. The bottles of methylated spirits cost about £4 or £5 each. And these 3 are all old bottles. I've got 2 new ones, which I will start using probably after this cycle, because this one's, as you can see, once it gathers the paint, it gets fairly dirty. It starts off as a nice purple, like that, and once it's been used a little bit, it ends up kind of like that, which isn't particularly great, but it's fine. It's what happens. And yeah, these are just my old toothbrushes. I keep them, like I said, scrubbing models, and why not recycle things, make them useful for other things. Used to be one of the fundamental things of this hobby was old bits of wood, plastic, plant pots, stuff like that was used for terrain, and generally people don't do that now. They buy their stuff from their local gaming store or online. But yeah, it's stuff. For example, I collect everything. I'm a hoarder. I hold my hands up. I got this idea of making Necromunda terrain, and to do that you need Pringle tubs. Well, I like Pringles, so I've got some Pringle tubs down here. I'll get round to making a terrain eventually, I hope, as long as work doesn't take up too much of my time. Yeah, this is, I know I've just said in the video about rambling on and talking for 45 minutes to an hour and stuff like that, and I'm used to, I'll be painting and saying what I'm doing with my painting, and now I'm sitting here with a pair of rubber gloves on and with this motor going, and I'm just filling, more or less. But yeah, I wanted to show this because there's more and more call now for people who want to strip models. This may actually be a separate video in itself, showing the benefits of an ultrasonic cleaner and methylated spirits, because other people have got other ideas of how to strip models, and it's using Dettol, using brake fluid and various other products. So that's the second cycle. I'm going to put it on again. And the thing is with this, the liquid gets warm, and to the point that it can get a bit hot. So you don't want kids around when you're doing this. You don't want kids to be doing it either. But this is a great thing. If you've got, say for example, I know people have said never strip your first models and stuff like that. But if you want to progress painting, and you're on a budget, this is awesome. This is really good. With 25 quid, so it's it's about the cost of a box of models. And so, for example, I bought a box of Blood Angel Intercessors. So they're the tactical marine guys. Excuse me. they were £37.50. Right, so for the cost of that, say these rubber gloves cost you £3. Toothbrush costs you £2. You don't even have to get, I know these are Colgate ones, but you can get some cheapy pound where you get 4 brushes. That's fine. This is £25. Say you get 2 bottles of methylated spirits, costs you £40. So it's about the cost of a squad of Space Marines. And you could potentially, with that, strip £200 to £300 worth of models quite easily. If they're metal, all the better, because they come out better. Plastic ones come out fine as well. Resin ones I wouldn't use in it, because I have done before and it makes them bendy. They were fine cast resin. I don't know if that makes a difference. But yeah, generally speaking, I wouldn't strip resin. Not with this. I've got a lot of stuff which I could strip and repaint, and I need to have some time where I can sit down and do it. And me saying time, after having 6 weeks off work and now going back to work, me complaining I've got no time. But anyway, so there was also another thing that I tried to use this for, was when you get Forge World models, they have like a release agent on them, and I thought using this with the soapy water would get the release agent off without the need for scrubbing. It doesn't, unfortunately, or maybe I didn't have enough patience at the time to do it, but a couple of cycles in here and it didn't really change it. So I might give it another go, because I've got some Forge World stuff that I need to scrub. But the thing is, with Forge World, it's so expensive that you don't want to risk putting it in something like this and damaging it. So that's the third cycle. You're going to see this straight out of here. So this is without scrubbing, and that's the Assassin. I don't want to come too close to the camera because it's going to drip everywhere, but the paint's come off really quite well already. So all I'm going to do is a little bit of scrubbing, because I'm an old scrubber. And that, what I'll do, there are some little bits still, so once I've scrubbed everything that's in here, I'll come back and I'll put this through for another cycle, literally another 3 minutes, and it will be as good as it's going to get. I mean, you'll see it even took all the paint off the base, and now that the paint is gone, it's practically clean. I mean, in the deep recesses there's a tiny little bit of black, but not that it would matter at all. So let's find that other Assassin. So this is the Vindicare. So this one's, the paint's not come off just through the Ultrasonic Cleaner, but just a little bit of scrubbing. This one, okay, yeah, that's good. I thought I broke it. It's not. It comes off. It comes in 2 parts. And the Methylated Spirits is quite good for unbonding glue as well. This one's going to need another cycle, I think, but generally speaking, it's looking pretty good anyway. I'm very aware that these are metal models, and I don't want to rip my rubber gloves, because I don't want to make my hands all irritable. So there's still a little bit of paint on this guy, but that's okay, because where the arm was glued on, there's some glue there as well, but that will come off with a knife. That's not a problem. And he's looking quite clean as well. He will go in for another cycle, like the Calderis Assassin wheel as well. And this is his arm. Now the Battlefleet Gothic ships, the red ships that I've put in, I want to see how well they work, because I'm not sure, because I've stripped some of them before. They're for a friend of the club, the battleship that I stripped was practically covered in super glue. So it made it really difficult to strip. So literally it was in for, I left it to soak for half an hour. It went through like 5 or 6 cycles in the cleaner. So that's his arm. Yeah, there's still bits of, I would say that's probably glue rather than paint, and the weapon is damaged, but that's fine. And it's practically clean metal. So getting onto one of these boats, and I can feel the warmth of the liquid on through the gloves, but it's fine because I've got gloves on. So I would say that this red isn't a Games Workshop red, because it's stained the metal, which is quite weird. And these ships are going to need more time in the cleaner, but it's okay. I've got it out, I might as well do this now. But as you can see, Ultrasonic Cleaner's pretty good. I mean, even this, you're starting to see the bare metal through, and that's after 9 minutes in the cycle. And to this stage, you look at that, you can see most of the metal, bare metal through there, and the rest of the paint is thinned down. So another couple of times in that machine, and this will be good to go, good to be resprayed and repainted. So it takes a little bit more work with some paints than others, but like I said, in the other gloves, it's practically clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep scrubbing these. I'm going to take this glove off so I can stop the camera, and we are going to keep scrubbing. Well, thank you very much. This has been a video. Hopefully it was helpful. Like I said, the Calderis Assassin is practically clean. That's the one I'm using as a test bed. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This won't be one of my rambles, this will be a how-to video, but thank you very much. I'll see you soon.